Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Anchor of the Week, where you do not have to agree with us to be friends with us. It's Sadie and Courtney Epi.
Ooh.
Sadie and Courtney Epi.
Okay. I'm not quite there.
No, it's okay. I was like,
I'll get there.
we need like a little jingle or something for these. Because we started...
How many jingles can we have?
We can never have enough jingles, I believe.
Because,
Yeah.
Did you guys guess who did the intro of last week's episode?
Drum roll.
Well, first of all, sorry. Look at me killing momentum right off the get-go. But it stumped people. It stumped our housemates.
Yeah, we had a whole conversation with them,
Yeah.
literally listening to it over and over, being like, I think it's this person. No, it's this person. And yeah.
Yeah. We can drum roll now.
Okay.
Oh!
I was like, okay, one more time. Here we go. I was like,
I did not pick up the cue that it was me.
okay,
I'm so sorry.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Drum roll.
Evan and Gimo.
Woo! Yeah.
That's so funny. It's, you know what? I got a little bit distracted because I came up with a brilliant idea.
Oh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I've been getting allowed to this recently. I'm not gonna lie.
Just
Just an ideas girl right now. Like I would love to get to the place too, because obviously we talk to our friends, people that you might know from the podcast, etc.
Yeah.
But what if people started to send in their jingles?
Bro, that'd be so good.
If you are listening right now, do a 5-second freestyle, just saying the anchor of the week.
Yeah.
Send it to us
on
our email.
an email, yeah.
The anchor of the week at gmail.com.
Yeah, there we go. I was like,
It's really we can't buy a domain
very
right
basic.
now.
Yeah, it's
we're
very
not
basic.
we're not there. But
one day,
maybe.
maybe.
That's how you know you made it.
When you have your own
domain.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Like the church I used to work at back home, when I was working there, it was like at, velocity.com.
Sadie at Velocity.
Literally just Sadie at Velocity. Like, it's such a cool thing to be able
crazy.
to. Like, yeah. Anyway.
What if one day it's Sadie at COURTNEY.com?
At COURTNEY.com. I work for Courtney. That's it. I work at Courtney.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. Okay, something very hard left. Topic change. I'm crazy insecure about my nails right now because I
Why?
ripped off 2 of them yesterday. And so, like, I'm literally hiding them. It's just these 2 nails.
Okay. She ripped off 2 acrylic nails.
Yeah, let me give the context. The thing is, got these done like last week. It's not even been a week at this point.
Why did you rip them off?
It was an accident. I was at work, and it was literally the end of my shift. And I was proud of myself because up until this point in the week, this would have been my 3rd barista shift. And I didn't have any issues, you know what I mean, up until this point. At the end of my shift, I'm literally leaving the bar, and I'm about to put my cup into the dishwasher. I go to open the dishwasher, and it, like, rips the 2 nails.
So you still had the nails?
Nope, because they disappeared under the cabinet. They literally ripped, and me and Abby, who was with me, we were both like, oh, and then they just, like, don't know where they went. And I was like, bro, no.
I was going to say, you still have them. You just know
I glued them back on.
I always carry nail glue with me.
I know. That's why I was going to find them, but I was like, no.
It's not worth it.
Not worth it. So annoying. Anyway, so if you see me, like, just hanging out, if you watch
She's not doing any strange signs.
no
like
weird
no
gang
hidden
signs.
messages.
It's just my insecurity popping out. Anywho.
That is so funny. Yet I've got these like I don't know, I feel like a teenager right now with my nails. Just the constantly chipped black nail polish.
It's not bad. I feel like chipped black is
It's kinda
different
cool.
than exactly. It's different than like chipped any other color.
Yeah. You know, my mom actually used to never let me wear black nail polish.
Actually, I think
And look
same.
at me now. I only ever wear black. So.
I was like, I think I was the same way. Like, I don't think I ever was allowed is a weird word, but I feel like
No, it was definitely I would ask for it, and she would say, no, that's too harsh.
Interesting. That's a whole topic in it.
That is a whole topic. You can take the goth out of you can take the girl out of the goth, but you can't take the goth out of the girl.
Sheesh.
Anyway.
Anywho, what's our topic today, Courtney?
Oh my gosh.
I know you're really excited for this. I was like, you know what? We should throw it over to you.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna sip this coffee. We're gonna put her right back down on the table. Guys, we got hate comments. Woo! Honestly, I'm psyched. I think this is so exciting.
Which is actually so funny because it's not like we're big. You know, it's not like we're a big, well-known podcast.
Favorite part, okay?
That's what gets me.
That's what gets me. Because the comments, I'm like, you would think that we're like, I don't know, brainwashing.
Right.
Thousands.
Thousands of people and telling everyone what to think. No.
Okay, mind you, okay, guys, remember this is big. Something that Sadie and I have been thinking about is that celebrate like the small wins, right? Every baby step is still a step.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And so whether or not, like, I mean, you guys know, those of you who are listening right now, you are, I was going to say you're the real ones.
Yeah.
But I say that every episode.
But you are. And she means it every episode.
I mean it. Oh, I do.
I don't every episode. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Sadie's a liar, so... That's my reel for the week. I'm gonna clip that.
Hey, don't click. Was it clickbait when you like clip something and it's like we're gonna get more hate comment? Oh my gosh. Anyway,
love that though. Okay, but yeah, that's the thing, right? Like we don't have a huge following, but if you are listening right now, we really appreciate you, and we are growing. It's very steady. It's small, but it's happening.
Yeah.
Right. And we're like, cool, we don't want to rush anything. We don't need virality.
No, yeah.
You know, I don't need us to all of a sudden one night wake up and we're like huge. That's a big responsibility to learn how to carry.
Yeah.
And also
influencing a bunch of people is a
and
lot.
to keep it up.
Yeah.
Because then what do, you know? Anyway, all that being said, I'm really behind at posting on our TikTok. So basically, I've just, as much as I can remember, I'm just going through and posting. So the other day I posted a clip from the industry of information.
Yep.
And AI. It's episode number...
The one with Josiah and Jetson.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't put it on. Right, and we were all like learning so much,
Honestly,
you know, like, realizing that we didn't know very much, so we wanted to open the conversation, and that is what we do, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the whole point of this podcast is to be able to talk about things that maybe it's like this is weird to talk about because maybe you feel like you should know it or no one else is talking about it.
Yeah, and I also feel like in this episode specifically, we weren't afraid to ask stupid questions or to look stupid.
Exactly.
And so I think this is like plays into some of the comments, but like I know for me anyway, thinking back, I was like, I probably sound like I know nothing, but that's okay because I don't know anything about this. So I'm like,
why pretend to?
I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, well, Josiah said something and I'm like, huh? You know?
Literally. And that's the whole point of this podcast.
Yes.
Is like, it's okay to not know something. It's okay to ask questions.
Yeah.
It's okay to not agree with something, but still try to figure it out. Like,
it's okay to not have an opinion on something. It's, literally.
Right? Okay. So this is a clip, and it's a short clip, right? And it's of Jetson basically being like, I found on TikTok that our data is stored in data centers. And he's like, I don't know why I didn't think about this, but like, it's not just in a cloud somewhere.
Yeah.
It is in a physical data center. Okay. We got 4 comments.
Woo!
That's huge for us.
Big.
4 comments for people we don't know. Okay. Love that. And for just, 4 comments, 54 likes. 1,349 views. Also, though,
That's actually wow.
and I think one person shared it, 3 people saved it. I think I was one of the 3 people that saved it, though. And I thought it got a repost too.
Was it on the Instagram or was it on the TikTok?
This is on our TikTok.
Okay.
I thought it got a repost. I think it did at least get one repost, to be fair. Because I remember, because obviously we told Jetson, and Jetson was like,
he's like, oh.
Sadie and I are used to having people being on the internet and understanding the repercussions that
just
come
in
with
general, like people looking at us. Like, you think you and I just in general are used to that from the talking in front of, people at events, at church, at, on stage or whatever.
Yeah,
but
we do it often.
Jetson's not really into it, I think.
Or I think it's just a fascinating thing, like, to have him kind of, like, I at some point had to, like, let go of the fact that, like, if I put myself on the internet, people that I don't know will have an opinion on me.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's something that, everyone sort of needs to come to terms with if they decide to put themselves in the spotlight. So it's very interesting with that.
I was like, that should be a whole episode in and of itself with Jetson.
Yeah.
Because we had a chat briefly in the middle of us, having dinner again in the kitchen,
and I was like,
cooking.
we have to respond to these comments. This is gold. And he's like, well, people think I'm an idiot. Like, what do I do with this?
He's like, I'm reconciling with the fact that people are looking at me and having an opinion about what I say now.
Yes,
And
even
we were
though they're only
true.
hearing, a 30-second clip.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no one who commented watched this entire
guarantee.
episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Can guarantee. Should we go through them?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Our 4 comments.
One of them was, don't worry, eating animal products is way worse for the environment, so just stop eating them and you can continue using AI. We always love a little vegan slant. I do love a little vegan
There's
slant.
always, I feel like, no, I'm not trying to cause any rifts, honestly.
You could.
But they're everywhere right now. And I'm not
The
talking. I'm
vegans?
just I was gonna say not just the vegans, but this animal rights, which I have my opinions on it. Now is not the time, I think, to speak on it.
Then we will get real hate comments.
Yeah, then we would get actual hate comments. But I mean, maybe not even. But like, it's just so funny. I'm like, that has nothing to do with this, but yet they like brought it around to this, and I just feel like that happens so much with animal rights activists. I see them everywhere on the internet, which
they
is
always
so funny.
find a way to connect.
They do.
Something.
They bring it all back to stop eating animals. Yeah.
Okay. And okay, something else that I would like to point out though is that we liked every comment.
Mm-hmm.
We responded to every comment. We did so in a way because the way that we responded, we were very intentional. Obviously, of what our podcast represents. So if we just came back with a clapback, that's not the point.
Defeats the purpose.
That defeats the whole purpose. So if you're coming at us, not like closing down the conversation, we're gonna open it back up because that's what we believe in, is opening up the conversation and not just shouting your opinion at someone that you think is wrong.
Right.
Would love to say that we got nothing back. No likes, no comments back, nothing from any of them. Yeah. Okay? Which I'm like, that is fascinating. Because they got the notification.
Yeah.
The Anchor of the Week liked your comment. The Anchor of the Week responded
to your comment. Yeah.
Okay. So to that one, I said, honestly, we've had some great conversations about that recently. Should it be a future episode topic? Side-eye? Because honestly,
yeah.
We could talk about it. No, he does not want to talk about it. So he actually does not want to maybe raise awareness
of animal rights.
Of animal rights.
Or give us more information, since obviously we're curious about. Yeah. I am curious about what he means by that. Because I'm like, what? In my head, those two aren't connected. But if you're like, okay, if I stop doing that, then
because water resources and stuff like that.
Tell me more. Yeah. I'm curious.
Giving you the space, if you really feel passionate about it, just say something to us. 3 days. Silence. The next one says, ... Guys, this is a bit embarrassing to be realizing as grown-ups.
Also, thank you so much for calling me a grown-up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Love that. I'm glad that we come across as really knowledgeable.
Yep.
There's two girls in their late 20s.
Yep.
I said it.
I was like, whew, yep, late. We're in the late 20s.
That's all right.
And that's where we're going to leave it for now.
Also, I think I'm over my age crisis.
That's good.
But that's a different podcast episode, I think.
Excited for that.
Yeah, I know. And okay, so we said that, right? And then we said, hey, but at least we realized, right? Laughing emoji. Nothing. But it's true.
Yeah.
At least we realized. Aren't you glad we realized now and not like in 50 years?
Right. But also, this is my other thing. Does it matter if I didn't ever learn that? You know what I mean? I'm like, but why? Because what is the comment exactly? It's realizing.
Guys, this is a bit embarrassing to be realizing as grown-ups. Also, when I was a kid, this was not even a thing. I only had the opportunity to learn about this as a grown-up.
It's true. And it's also one of those things that like you have to really kind of dig into to find. It's not like it's like a part of the news.
No.
And maybe it is, but maybe I'm not looking at that news source, you know?
Exactly. It's not mainstream news.
Yeah. But either way, so what if I don't learn that? Does that make me less of a grown-up? You know what I mean? Like, does it make me less of a grown-up to not have the knowledge on something very specific? That's what I want to talk about.
Dang.
Tell me.
Can we invite all of these people
please,
on?
Please join us. We'll send you the Zoom link and we'll have a nice little discussion.
How funny would that be?
Yeah.
Like every month. Let's just say we keep on growing.
Actually, though.
We keep on getting. We have a Zoom month with our Zoom meeting every month with everyone that left a negative comment.
With everyone that disagrees with us.
And we give them the platform to talk about why they disagreed with it.
Yeah.
And to have a dialogue. Imagine.
And actually, that's a baller move.
I know. I'd like to think that nobody responded to these because they were like, oh, I didn't get the reaction that I wanted to get.
Oh, for sure. What's also,
I feel like this was all a baller move.
Actually, though, because it's like, I don't think, and again, these people probably saw like just a clip of this, you know, like they know nothing about who we are, like what the heart of our podcast is. But like, even if they were, like if they dug into that and proceeded to like post these troll comments, if you will, like they would almost be expecting us to come back with something like this.
Exactly.
But they don't know us, so they were just like, you know?
Yeah.
Trolls, makes me laugh. It just makes me laugh.
We did an episode a long time ago about exposing the trolls, where we basically, Zach and I would find like troll comments on the internet, and we'd respond to the people that made the comments, and we're just like, hey, just wondering, like what kind of outcome did you think you were gonna get from this? Like,
Genuinely though, that's my
and
question.
I'm like, yeah. Also, a little turnaround that we can do it on our own page now.
True.
Because before, I remember I think I saw a clip of it, and it was like someone had responded to something on Emma Chamberlain's post. And so it was actually very interesting. It's not very far down on our TikTok because, again, we barely post there. So
yeah, which is also funny to me because I'm like, okay, no, that's a whole other thing. But I'm like, Emma Chamberlain feels like one of the most like on. Oh, it's okay.
Oh my gosh.
Let me just play. And Jetson's voice.
Okay, sorry. Forgot how to use the internet for a minute.
I was gonna say, I was like, I feel like Emma Chamberlain is like one of the least problematic people on the internet right now.
We all just have opinions.
Yeah, but everyone has something against. Not everyone, sorry. Let me just not generalize, but a lot of people have something against someone.
A lot of people.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
That's so fair.
Yeah.
Okay, this next comment says, realizing that AI require machines to operate and that it doesn't just appear out of thin air. Screaming emoji. Yes, obviously that's sarcastic.
See, this is the thing. To know that you have to know, otherwise you just you don't.
Or I'd be like,
you know
wow,
I mean?
yeah, we're realizing that too. Like, well, it got 5 likes.
Oh, interesting.
Actually, I really don't know.
And this is the thing: is you don't know
That
tone.
one I feel like is the only kind of like. I think given off the other comments, it's like, oh, you're probably negative.
You probably should know that. Yeah.
So we responded, you learn something new every day, and then in brackets, or at least we try to. Melting smiley face emoji. That was Sadie's idea.
Yeah, it's my favorite emoji. So.
I love it. It's really, it's a good one.
It also, like, I think encompasses a lot of emotions.
Yeah. It can mean a lot.
It can mean a lot.
Context is really important here.
Context, yes, and tone for sure.
But yeah, again, what's wrong with learning? Nothing. And if this person genuinely was actually realizing it, love it. Welcome
to us
learning.
also realizing things.
Their username is C, like just the letter C. So I can't really
figure it out.
Yeah.
Who it is.
Disco ball profile picture though.
Hey, like that.
Mad respect. So if you are with us, good job. If not, if that was sarcastic,
also good job.
Also good job, I guess.
Because you got us.
You got us. What else we have? Oh, this one's my favorite. And this is one I think that we're going to really dive into for the rest of the episode. Why are we giving airtime for these people? So our comment or our response was, we ask ourselves this every day. Skull emoji. Honestly, yeah. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
I don't know.
But this is also, okay, this is my thing. Everyone and their mother has a podcast these days.
Everyone has a platform.
Everyone has a platform. Everyone everyone is influencing people, whether they want to or not. So it's kind of like not dependent. When you're putting things out there, like this comment, for example, you're influencing someone.
You're
impacting someone.
Also, you are growing we have 50 followers on TikTok, okay?
Yeah.
Andrew, you have 410.
Shout out,
so quick math. That's what? 8 times?
I believe
50
you.
50 times 8. Because 4 times 100 is 400. So
and 5 times 8 is 40.
I'm right. I'm like really right.
I mean, I believe you. I'm not even gonna try and figure it out.
Okay, if I clip this, imagine the troll comments.
People will be like, "You're a grown-up who doesn't know how to do math." That's right. That's why I have a calculator in my pocket, nonstop.
By that you mean your phone, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine.
I have a TX. What is that? Remember those Texas freaking fancy calculus?
The
with the slide. You had to slide it off. You had to buy one for high school.
Yeah.
Ugh. Talk about maths, am I right? Anyway, Andrew, shout out to you.
Your platform is bigger than us, right? Mm-hmm. Andrew, 8 times.
Mm-hmm.
Over 8 times bigger than ours.
Mm-hmm.
All right? You are boosting our engagement probably more than it's ever been boosted. by commenting. And I think it had 2 other likes or something
Yeah.
like that.
So thank you, Andrew.
Andrew, you are increasing our airtime.
Also, it's actually funny because, like, I don't know you, Andrew, and you're not going to see this.
Well,
But,
maybe.
I mean, maybe we'll, oh my gosh, imagine we clip
I was just
this,
gonna
we clip this, we send it to him, and we go, Andrew, thank you so much for the engagement, for growing our platform. Now we will be getting more airtime out there to more people.
Well, directly after this, I'm going to make us respond via video to his comment with essentially a small version of what we're going to talk
I
about.
love it. But yeah.
But it's fascinating because
Uh-huh.
it's going back to what you're saying about, like, who are we deciding who we give airtime to?
Mm.
Or what does it even mean?
The thing is,
Like,
is
'cause his-
no one gets to decide that because the internet is what it is.
So I don't think it's necessarily much like, oh, why are we giving them airtime? But it's like, why are we listening to their opinion? And then I would like to say, Andrew, why are you, sorry, not just Andrew. Andrew, you might be a great lad for all I know.
Yeah. We
Might
don't
be.
know. We don't know.
But like, this is so bad. But it's like, why is this one person then giving weight to our opinion if you don't like it?
True. This goes back to what I said at the beginning, where it's like you don't have to have an opinion on things.
Yeah.
You don't have to say anything to somebody if you like. You know what I mean? I'm like, there's no reason for you to say something like that, even if you don't agree with us. Like, you can, but why?
Exactly.
What's the point?
Just like long press and put not interested.
Yeah, you don't have to. We're intrigued that you don't agree with us because that's what we're about.
That's literally the whole point of this part.
Like,
podcast, but-
talk to us if you want to.
Yeah. That is just the other thing that really irks me. I thought, maybe we'd get some dynamic discussions
Yeah.
from this. But I'm gonna take this a bit because I started to listen to a new audiobook by Dr. Caroline Leaf.
Caroline.
She's a psychologist.
Nice.
I've listened to maybe a chapter and a half.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm going to butcher this.
Uh-huh.
All right. But essentially, she was talking about how right now we don't process information, we just receive data. So it's the processing of information that helps us to actually learn, to form opinions, to figure out what we're actually receiving and what it does to us. But right now, we are just like these data centers, you know what I mean? That are like receiving information.
Yeah.
And we don't know what to do with it. Or maybe we're receiving information too quickly that it's like there is no chance for us to actually form an opinion on it because it's just cycling through.
Yeah, yeah. It is an interesting thought because I'm thinking about myself now.
Okay.
And how, because it's difference between, you said cycling for like receiving information and cycling.
It's like we're just storing data
Storing
instead
data.
of like, I might get her exact words wrong.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we can come back with it. Maybe one day we'll get her on the podcast.
Hey.
But like, instead of just like actually processing information, we're just storing data.
Yeah. Because I feel like to process information in my head means you need to then have an idea or an opinion on that information. And maybe opinion is not the right word.
I think that's how you form an opinion, though, is by processing the
By
information.
processing the information.
Instead of just taking it. Okay, the sky is blue. Whatever. I don't know.
The sky is blue. That is data that I'm storing. I love how blue the sky is.
Or, hey, I've always wondered why the sky is blue. Let me figure it out.
Ah, I see. Interesting.
You know?
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, I really appreciate that the sky is blue because of this, this, and this. Or I choose to go, I decide the sky is green.
Hey.
Which is so different.
That's
so different.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
But like, I think we've lost that ability to not just see something, receive it, do something about it, and then move on. Like we're becoming dumber. I was gonna say, but I don't know if that's mean.
Dumber. Now, how does AI play into that? We don't
I
have
don't
to
know,
go down that route, but
it's stored in physical data centers.
It is stored in physical data centers, which we now know thanks to Josiah.
Again, everything can be a tool and is a tool.
Yeah.
Like I'm definitely not against it by no stretch of the imagination. I don't know. I think this is way less though about the outside. Like we're gonna keep on like I don't know, learning things
Yeah.
and having new developments, that's never going to change. The only thing that's going to change is us and how we respond to them. So AI to me is not even the problem. If you go back to the human resistance to like putting an effort into anything.
Yeah.
Something that I was listening to another podcast. Wow, here I am. This one's actually about Mormonism.
Oh,
I know.
interesting.
Oh, yeah. But basically, anyway, they were going through some credibility stuff, whatever, about the Book of Mormon, Joseph Smith. But they mentioned something, and they said back in like the 30s or whatever, kind of when Joseph Smith was like doing his thing, you know, it was like people didn't have anything to do, so their imaginations like went wild,
Yeah.
right? Or like they had nothing to distract themselves with.
Yeah.
I know me when I'm without my phone, my head goes to a billion different places.
Yeah.
And I'm either on holiday sometime or I am redoing the entire set of the Anchor of the Week. Right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, and imagining all of that. And he just made this comment in this podcast where he was like, if people from that time came to see us now, they probably would think that we would have been way beyond
Yeah.
our actual development. And I thought that was so fascinating because we think that we are just, you know, yes, we're more developed than we've ever been,
Right.
but like, we're not. It's not that crazy.
The thing is I feel like the development that we've come to is just like developing things to make us more comfortable and to add convenience. I wouldn't say it's actual development. Like that's just my opinion. Is I had a conversation yesterday with Lucas, funnily enough, shout out.
Lucas.
But we were chatting about he was chatting about he also knows a lot about data and you know, he's studying IT stuff right now, and so he was talking about that and how basically technology is never, when something new comes, it's never new. It's all copy and paste, but just tweaked a little bit, right?
That's so
to make things a little bit more convenient. And he was like, if you look at the whole world, everything is like commodity based. And he's like, because we were at a coffee tasting, he's like, here, for instance, he's like, you know, we pay a little extra to get the convenience of someone making us a coffee when we really could at home make ourselves our own cup of coffee. But that takes more time, more effort, more
learning,
energy, more learning. Exactly. And so it was just kind of this idea of like, I think in terms of how far we've come development wise is really just a means of making our lives more convenient, but not necessarily developing us as humans.
not necessarily pushing us forward.
Yeah, you know? And so,
Wow.
and every time I think about that, I think of WALL-E, which is like, I hate that movie. Let me just say that.
I've never even seen it.
Don't.
I think I would hate it.
Yeah. And I think that, like, look, I watched this movie years and years ago. Like, I haven't seen him forever. But I remember watching it and going, oh, I actually don't like this. Because it's a point where humans are in the sky, right? Earth is no longer inhabitable. And the humans are all, like, fat and living in chairs that hover them around. And they have screens around them. And they're looking at these screens. And that's how they communicate with each other. Like, they're just, like, passing each other and, you know, on the streets on this thing. And I was just like, oh, that's so sad. And so the more I think about like nowadays and how far we've come development, I'm like, I don't know if we've actually quote unquote developed us as humanity, but really just have,
We've come up with more creative and easier ways to be more comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hot dang.
Which is actually funny because it's like,
I love convenience.
Yeah, I love it. I love it as well. I'm like, in my head, I'm like trying to tie it back to this whole like, why give them airtime thing. But like, it's also people saying things and people disagreeing with you isn't comfortable, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, we also are so used to the content that we take in making us feel good, giving us comfort, making us
reaffirming what we already believe, that confirmation bias.
Exactly. And it's like even when someone says something that you don't agree with, you automatically want to challenge it or like get mad or like tense about it because it's breaking your comfortability.
Where the only thing that would actually develop us further along the line is having a conversation to figure out what is, I guess, right or truth or pushing us to something better, you know, or helping somebody learn something.
Yeah. Yeah. Or reshaping your own mind. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I think, again, here we are back to the Christian perspective of things, but like,
shocker,
we're called to love everyone, right?
Yeah.
And love isn't gonna be easy, and love is not tolerant. Love is not like that, you know? And but it's going to be challenging, and love is confronting, but it's also not degrading, you know? So
it's confronting because you believe that there is better for somebody.
Yeah. And sometimes it's even like, if you confront something, then you also have to allow yourself to be confronted in that confrontation.
Yeah.
Because if you're just confronting to force things, to change things, then you're not helping that person or yourself, because you're only going to be stuck in that perspective.
Exactly. That reminds me of the interaction I had last night that I was telling you
Oh,
about.
yes. Yes.
Oh, man. Okay, so I was working an event here at the Cave. Was great. Great artists, like young people using their gifts. Like amazing. Really talented people.
Would have loved to be.
And there was a guest that wasn't a part of the thing that was hosting the event. And I was like, this woman is amazing. Like, I want to be her. Like, the way that she interacts with the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, she was awesome. And then she had to, I don't know, she stated some things or whatever that needed to change about the Cave. Or like, I don't know, a small little thing. You know what I mean? But I was like, I'm someone that can handle confrontation.
Yeah.
Tell me like it is. Do you know what I mean? But the way she said it, and you put your finger on it this morning, I was telling you, it was like there was zero warmth in it. It was like, if you would have just come up to me and be like, hey, like, I have this or whatever, like, just watch out for this. I'd be like, oh my gosh, yeah, you're so right. Thank you for letting me know, like, whatever. But it was all of a sudden, it was like
Full
walking
Karen
up
mode.
and like, you are wrong. And I'm like, I literally was looking at her, was about to be like, hey, you're great. Like, you're awesome. Like, I love the way that. And she just stonewalled it. And I was like, and this was a Christian woman. And maybe I had one interaction, so you can't just generalize.
Yeah.
But it's that whole idea of like, that wasn't making me better. I mean, guys, when I tell you the issue was like minuscule. I just don't want to throw anything under the bus. But it was like, what? Like, how did you go from being the most inspirational person up on that stage to all of a sudden I feel inferior?
Right.
From something literally that is so inconsequential. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I don't exactly remember what you were saying at the beginning that got me onto this. But
just the idea of loving and like
loving and confrontation.
Yeah, and confrontation.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like how you can call out the truth. You can, okay, if we needed to have a dialogue about something, I would have been happy to have it with her. But it was this whole idea of like, I don't feel comfortable now having this conversation or any conversation with you, because now I'm like,
it wasn't done from a place of love.
Yeah.
Almost.
Which is so crazy to me when, especially if you're a Christian and very loud about it, you know?
Yeah.
But it's how crazy how you can tell that. You know, it's like, of course, like I'll probably never see her again. We knew each other in passing for a couple hours one night. Like, there's no reason for her to go above and beyond with me.
Right.
But you can tell when someone is coming from a place of just general love and care for somebody.
Yeah. And it was something, because like after you said that, we were talking about like we want to be able to be people where when you see like even I'm gonna pause, Sadie, pin in my brain, finish what I'm saying, and then come back to but like we don't want to be people where we're on this podcast and we're talking about this and we're not living it out in real life. And we've had that talk before on the podcast of like we want to make sure that you know, like we even check ourselves sometimes. But it's this idea of like, if you're, I don't know, love looks like being real and honest in every scenario.
Yeah.
And not just, okay, I'm putting on a performance and then I'm going to shut that down once I'm like off of a platform, you know, or I'm off of like the internet or whatever, or, you know, not speaking on the podcast. But we want to be able to be people that come from a place of love in every interaction that we have. You know? Yeah. And so the thing is, though, is that doesn't always mean that I'm going to be 100% happy clappy. Like, oh, I love you. Oh, Courtney. Oh, yes. You know, like, you're looking amazing today. Like, which, you know, you look great today. I tell you that. But, like, I may have off days as well. But it doesn't mean that I need to, like, degrade other people because I'm having an off day.
Yeah.
You know, it's like learning to, like, love no matter the circumstance.
Yeah.
No matter the disagreement or the agreement. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes love, like, looks like, I don't know, blocking the anger of the week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you really don't like us that much? Maybe it's loving to, just get us off your page so you don't poison yourself with thoughts. Like, I can't imagine.
We're poisoning people with
except for maybe the Wally comment. That could really get us canceled.
Yeah, honestly. Sorry. Cancel me. You know what? No, never mind. Changed my idea. I'm not going to say it.
Okay, perfect. Love that.
Maybe we'll talk off the podcast. That's a Patreon episode.
Patreon, where you just send us money to our personal PayPal.
Yes. So I can pay.
And then we'll send you a video.
Yeah.
So we can pay for a transport to get here.
Transport, my groceries, you know.
The little stuff.
Anyway.
But yeah, I think that it's just a general sort of, like how are we choosing to respond to people? And like also understanding the place.
Yeah.
Like, again, that goes back to Jetson's episode that we had a few episodes ago. Like, is my opinion even important here?
Exactly.
Does it matter in the
Doesn't
situation?
matter. Right.
Does it actually affect anything? You know, but we live and we learn.
Yeah. And something, I mean, LOL, I'm thinking about the Mind Shift podcast now. Yeah, another podcast that I listen to.
Hey, we're big fans.
We are big
of
fans.
the Mind Shift podcast. So,
Aaron, if you want to come on, if you want to collab, then hit us up because we'd love
us
to.
and our 50 followers.
Yes.
We'd love to hear from you.
But something that I feel like Erwin said on one of the episodes was like, anytime I feel like defensive towards someone's opinion, or like if I'm disagreeing with someone and I'm feeling very like about it, I then confront myself first. And then I go, okay, why does that make me so offended? Or, you know, like, and then take that and then come with a response if you need to. Because sometimes you don't need to.
That's so great.
You know? And I mean, their whole podcast is literally mind shift. So it's about shifting how you think about things and your perspective on things. And yeah, so it's just like that comment alone from whatever episode it was shifted my mind and made me go, every time I get offended by something, I'm having to go, whoa, okay. What's the root of that? You know, why am I so offended by that?
Confront yourself before you confront the other person to make sure that what you are then confronting is like legit, with love, needed, necessary. I think that is so good. Wow. We got to do our.
Yep, that was it.
Wow. Such good thoughts.
Such good thoughts. I feel like we need a soundboard of just all the random, like, the size, like, you know, the Friendship 101 sound, the jingle, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And then we start our The Anchor of the Week ASMR spinoff.
Oh boy. And I will leave you to that spinoff. And
I'll never see Sadie again. Cool.
and this was fun while it lasted.
Can you imagine? No. Guys, I know this episode was a little bit, I feel like we touched on a lot of different things, or a lot of things that were on our mind. But I don't know. I think my overall takeaway from all of this and everything that we've been talking about is just being aware of the way that I interact with other people and like how it is actually being like productive.
Yeah.
Whether that is working towards a solution, working towards developing humanity. Sounds so big, but you know what I mean.
But yeah,
like
on a smaller scale.
Or even if it's just like, is it productive in like making this person feel valued? Even if I have to confront them on something.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that's kind of where I'm at as
overall. No, I agree.
We close this episode.
I agree.
That's it? Nothing to add?
No, honestly, like you said it. Yeah.
She said it.
Boom.
Amazing. This was fun.
This was good.
I hope we get more troll comments.
I hope we do too, because that's the kind of stuff that I'm like, yeah. Tell me what it is that you don't like. Yeah. Because then I confront myself and I go, that's interesting.
Because you know what? Maybe there is something we could take from it.
Honestly.
I don't want to say we're above that.
No.
And I'm glad that we made the decision, and I would like to, in front of our faithful followers and listeners as well, to say, like, I never want to clap back at a troll comment or a hate comment.
No.
And this is our decision. If we got to walk the walk.
Yep.
So we're going to confront ourselves first before we confront. Can't take that quote, but thank you, Erwin. But
shout out, Erwin.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
Look at
that's
us.
it.
What a nice little podcast. Nice little episode.
Podcast.
Woo.
Amazing, guys. Well, as you know, this is almost at the church outro.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so every week, Sadie and I are the MCs at church, and every time without fail, well, you do a little inspirational, wrap everything
wrap up the message.
Then you go, well, as you guys know, the church does not end here.
There's so many ways you can stay connected throughout the week.
I was about to give you guys that.
Yeah.
The podcast doesn't end here.
It doesn't.
No. There's so many ways that you can stay anchored throughout this week.
Amen. Honestly, yeah.
We need to do another one of those videos. Maybe even today with our friends at the cave.
Yeah, what's kept you anchored
What's
this
kept
week?
you anchored? It's been a while. But yeah, all that to say, guys, it's been great chatting with you. It's been a great episode. You guys know where to find us on all the usual platforms. This whole thing has been a plug for our TikTok.
Honestly, yeah. Please follow us.
Let's grow that 50 followers.
It's also great because it's like you have the little snippets on TikTok from the episodes that you can share easily and set,
Exactly.
send it to your friends. Be like, hey, this episode was so good. Here's this moment.
And we do post exclusive content that does not make it to.
True.
I mean, it's
Funny
in the
little
episode.
moments, yeah.
Well, it's exclusive content, funny moments, funny things. A lot of it is in the episode, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just funnier.
Every now and then. You get a little, yeah.
Yeah, and then we're also trying to do just a few more just fun
Silly
things.
ones.
But yeah, so obviously TikTok, Instagram, share this, like this, subscribe, rate, comment, whatever the mode of giving us support to give us more airtime.
However you want to interact with it.
Exactly. You guys, do what you got to do. We're really grateful that you hung out with us. Hope you enjoyed the conversation, and we will talk to you in 2 weeks.